Now, while this segment is hard to say, it is easy to play. So,
Oh my god.
we played this once before. Could you bring up what our last two cryptids were? The before and after weight loss balding restoring agent. You know those commercials? We turned the skunk ape. And what was the Bear Lake Monster?
Yes, Bear Lake Monster turned into, I believe her name was Vanessa, an actual bearish creature.
Mm-hmm.
And you turned the skunk ape into...
I changed the skunk ape, aka the swamp cabbage man, into the swamp ravage man. Which should give you a little bit on what our goal is with this, but I'll explain it for those that don't quite get whatever we just said. So we're gonna take these old bunk ass busted old cryptids that haven't gotten a lot of love. We're not talking about the Bigfoots or the Chupacabras or the Skinwalkers, which I feel is like racist to assume is a cryptid. That's just me. And we're just gonna spice him up. We're gonna make him cool again. We're gonna make him scary again, or maybe we'll make him just a little bit sexy again. Who knows? It's all about
Swamp Ravage Man. Representing.
Ooh, yeah. Got that good stank. That Dior Fahrenheit.
Oh,
that's a callback. All right. Would you like to start this episode of CryptoCOOLology?
Sure, I would love to. So for my cryptid this week, I chose, and please don't correct me, the Lagarfljot worm, which is an Icelandic cryptid. Now,
can you spell it?
Let me tell you a little bit about this worm. Yes, I can. It is the Lagarfljot worm. That's how you spell that. In case anyone wants to Google one out there. So, to tell you a little bit about this worm fella, it is a freshwater creature with the body of a heath worm, which is a slug, a giant black slug, and the head of a seal. He has many humps, about 40 feet long. It's also said that it can coil up on land or even slither into the nearby trees, which is very scary.
That is very scary.
Yeah, that it can come out of the water at all is terrifying, at least to me. And engraved in an Icelandic map from 1585 was the quote, "A large serpent, the Lagarfljot worm, appears when some memorable event is imminent." Now to me, this all is incredibly marketable, kind of scary, really cool design. All we need is an American rebrand that can then spread throughout the world. Don't call it the name of the city. I can't pronounce it. Most Americans can't. That limits your market. No. His new name is going to be the Slugili.
Slugili?
Now instantly, yes, the Slugili. Instantly. Someone mentions that cryptid, you want to Google him, and bam, the Icelandic Mothman. Plushies of the adorable lumpy seal slug, excuse me.
Seal slug.
Rosary beads with the seal head as the clasp in the back, or
Jesus
a
candles?
little naughty, maybe anal beads. Basically the same design. Or Jesus candles, but with the Slugili on them. How you feel about that, everyone?
This reminds me a lot of the Skungili Man.
I've never heard of the Skungili Man, but
podcast on the left.
We're gonna eclipse the Skungili Man with the Slugili.
I think it's like you have to say his name in a mirror like 23 times and he appears.
Does he do something really lame?
I forget, but I think Skungili...
Or does he just kill you?
I'm drawing a blank, but I think Skungili is Italian for a dish with squid. So
he's kind of a slug man?
That's why I was like, he's
squid man,
he's a squid man, but he's equally slimy, I think.
Interesting.
What a fun little combination.
Yeah. Maybe they'll end up being cousins of some sort.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, you scratch my back, I'll get you a couple more million views. Now, another thing I want to touch on real quick about the Slugili. There's a folk tale about the Slugili, that a small girl put a gold ring underneath a heath worm, which is the large black slug, if you recall, basically to get rich. It's said that the worm slug then grew to enormous size and started terrorizing the town. So I want to rebrand that. The Slugili was upset because the gold underneath it grew larger with it. That's how she was planning on getting rich. So the Slugili, in all of its pain and glory, decided, I'm going to do something nice about this gold because I feel so much more powerful and confident in myself because of my new size. The Slugili started leaving piles of gold at the little girl's door as a thank you. And later on, began gifting gold to those in need who found themselves on the lakeside during full moons. So what we've got here is an event, am I right? You Google it. You bought a plane ticket. You're in Lagarfljot Slugili town. You're near the lake during a full moon, and there's hundreds of people looking around. They're mingling. They're discussing the Slugili. They're drinking too much. It's a party and memorable events. Golden memories, one might say, are bound to happen.
As we know.
So those are the changes. Yeah.
As we know, tourism always helps.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Can't wait to get my Slugili anal beads. So those are my changes. Just to tweak a couple of the legends, give them a new name, maybe a cousin in the Squid Boy. You know what? Maybe get him on a pizza box with a thicker mustache. Boom! Worldwide phenomenon. Slugili.
Slug and squid pizza box. All right.
Oh yeah, man.
I won't judge. All right.
And Nick, what cryptid did you choose this week, and what do you got for us? How will you make them cool?
I chose potentially a fan favorite, the Oklahoma Octopus. Now, the Oklahoma Octopus.
Where are Oklahoma fans?
Okay. The Oklahoma Octopus has only had one real mainstream representation, and that was in an episode of Lost Tapes, which was a series run on Animal Planet, where it was a series of found footage short films, basically around 20-ish minutes or so, that would basically highlight a group of people encountering these cryptids. And it was a lot of people's first experience with the general idea of cryptids. You know, maybe you've heard some standouts like Chupacabra or Bigfoot, but learning about so many of these was definitely my gateway into it. So I've always had a soft spot for the Oklahoma Octopus, arguably the worst episode in the series. Alright, so here's some information about the OKOCTOPUS. He is found in 3 man-made lakes: Lake Thunderbird, Uloga Lake, and Lake Tenkiller. Pretty awesome names.
It's pretty badass.
There's no real physical evidence. There's no video, there's no pictures of an octopus in the lakes at all. But there is a very large number of drownings in these 3 lakes. So a lot of people attribute that to there being this octopus that drags people down and drowns them. The sources are a little tenuous. I'm hoping I'm using that word correctly. But they say it's around the size of a horse, assuming the main body, with the tentacles obviously not counting for it, and with red leathery skin. Now that's like kind of goofy, you know, because there's literally no way to prove that there is an octopus in there. I think it sounds like a bunch of dumb people getting drunk and not doing too well. That's a little rude. I apologize to anyone.
I will note that you do seem to have a thing for the red-skinned cryptids.
That's true. Alright, but here's how we make it cool. So first one, the name sucks. The name's an important thing we gotta address. So he's found in 3 places with names cooler than it. The Thunderbird, which is another cryptid, fun fact. The Uloga.
I almost picked that one, other fun fact.
And the Tenkiller. Like, those are great names.
Tenkillers.
So, to match the lake it's in, it is now known as the Thunderkillaga.
Whoa.
Another thing is
Billy and Mandy when he says the 3 coolest words in the universe.
What a strange deep cut to make.
Admiral Wolverine Thunderbolt, dude.
Alright. God damn it.
Please continue, I'm sorry.
We are going to change. Drowning's kind of a lame way to go. Like, it's sad, yes. No one's gonna argue that. Is it painful? Yes. Is it one of the worst way to dies? Sure, would I like to be drowned? Of course, but we need to... we gotta change this, because it's not gonna get him anywhere. It's just like, oh, a thing in the ocean drowns people. Big whoop. So what we're gonna do is, instead of drowning people, it's gonna grab people, it's gonna grab critters, their tentacles, and just shake them till they pop like a can of soda.
Just shake the shit out of them.
Yeah, so the two tentacles just... until... Pow! Their head pops off like a little fountain. A little Fanta fountain. Which I think is just so visceral and hilarious that, you know, dark comedy horror comedies have been making a comeback lately. So I think that's just going to boost the popularity of this guy. The Thunder Killiga, of course. Now, size of a horse. That's kind of small in the scheme of things. Because while horses are big, squids, there's several species of squids that are bigger than that. The giant squid, the colossal squid, I think the Humboldt squid's roughly around the size of a horse. So we need to boost this lad up. So I was thinking, you know what would be scarier than a octopus the size of a horse in a lake? How about an octopus the size of a Whole Foods?
What?
He's the size of a Whole Foods grocery store. This dude's fucking massive. And that means he can just sit at the bottom, just move. And maybe this means there's only one Thunder Killiga. And he just fucking, boom, hits the ground, bounces up to the next lake. Oklahoma ain't that big. I think this guy can do it. And if not, we can just get him a personal trainer.
In the skunk ape. Oh, I'm sorry. In the swamp ravage man.
Exactly. Another thing. No video evidence. That's bullshit. Any good cryptid needs to have some sort of physical evidence, or else people aren't going to give a damn. So, what we're going to get, the Thunder Killiga, a modeling contract. We're going to get them a professional MUA, a makeup artist. There are so many struggling MUAs on Instagram that could do just absolutely amazing work on our Thunder Killiga to make sure she is exposure ready. I'm no expert, but I think some nice blues and blacks would contrast and accentuate the red leathery skin. I think it'd make a very sharp and shocking appearance.
Gotta use the waterproof stuff, though.
Exactly.
Getting pricey.
It is true. But I think the amount of money from murdered people that get shooken like pop cans would definitely wrap up the cost. Which I think is probably my favorite aspect of the Thunder Killiga.
That it robs its victims after murdering them?
No, we do. We have to live near the lakes, actually.
Oh, man.
So it's like a full-time gig, but, we've got to make sacrifices if we're going to make the OKOCTOPUSKLAMHOMA, RSVP, YMCA, any sort of actual RSVP, RHCP, RHPS kind of thing work,
I'm going to have to listen to that back later, but... quick side note, tenuous was the right word.
Thank you.
Fact checker was a little slow on that one.
No worries, I tend to motor mouth it. Alright.
Oh man.
So we've got the Thunder Killiga, we've got the
Sluggeely.
I almost said Ciologo.
They hanging out with Vanessa and the Swamp Ravage Man.
Yeah, and the Swamp Ravage Man. They're in the green room getting ready for the big Who Wants to Be a Cryptid reality show we have planned.
It is a giant green room.
It is so big. It's bigger than 2 Whole Foods.
It's much smaller than I thought it would be. Oh, you can barely fit the Thunder Killiga in there.
He takes up almost half of the green room. We gotta do some small cryptids.
Yeah,
in fact,
exactly.
I think we've exclusively. I don't know about the Sluggeely Man. I think we've exclusively made all our cryptids bigger.
Sluggeely and Vanessa are not bigger at all.
Okay,
but they were huge to start with.
So it's just mine.
Yeah, you made the Swamp Ravage Man swole. You made the Thunder Killiga the size of a Whole Food.
I'm a bit of a size coin, what can I say?
Oh my god.